the Supreme Court just dealt a giant blow to who's striking down the tariffs, calling them unconstitutional. He had a conniption fit. He's not happy about it. And the question is, let's look at the clip.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. I think it's an embarrassment to their families.
So why is it, okay, look. So the question is, who's going to pay back the upwards of $2 billion? Who's going to get the refund? But why do you jump into disgracing their families? What does this have to do with your being upset that you didn't get what you want? Because they were fine 2 days ago when you were happy with them. So what is happening here? Well, so that's a million questions I'm asking, but somebody will figure out which one to start.
I think, Whoopi, he takes it personally because he thinks this court are his lawyers. He thinks every single justice that he appointed sort of are beholden to him. And the way the Justice Department is supposed to work and the way federal prosecutors are supposed to work and the way the Supreme Court is supposed to work is supposed to work autonomously. Yeah. And so I'm happy that they did this. And it's actually $200 billion in tariffs that are now up for grabs. And my question here is, you have Justice Kavanaugh dissenting and saying billions of dollars, $200 billion is now owed to really these companies and really to the American people. And it's going to be very, very, very messy to unwind. And then you have our Treasury Secretary saying he does not think that Americans will get their money back. I want my money back. I don't know if any of you have had the experience where you go to buy something online and you pay the amount that you think you owe, and then it's sent you to another page with a little government seal and it had tariffs. And sometimes I paid those tariffs. I want my money back, and I'm sure a lot of people want their money back.
Another instance where Republicans have just completely failed. Look, Amanda and I grew up in a Republican Party where there was one thing everybody agreed on: free trade, hands-off private business.
Yes.
But because it's Trump doing this insanity, haphazard economic policy, haphazard tariff policy, using tariffs as a cudgel, as a stick to hit those that he wants to punish and to reward those that he likes and that he suck up to him, then the Republicans have let it happen. Now, this that's happened now, though, is interesting because, okay, so after the tariffs were struck down by the Supreme Court, he said, really? Hold my beer. Yes. I'm going to use this other method to impose 10% on global tariffs.
Yeah.
No. Make that 15%. So like 5 minutes after he said 10.
Which is never used by any other president.
And but he's got 150 days, and Congress has to act, approve or disapprove. And I am waiting to see if the Republicans in Congress grow a spine for a minute and oppose this insanity.
What they should be looking at with this decision, it's like, if you look at it, Trump invoked this extraordinary authority under Emergency Powers Act. That was based on a lie. There was no economic emergency that justified him illegally confiscating this money, which is what the Supreme Court ruled that he did. You want to talk about who's getting the money back? Guess what? I hate to tell you, it's probably not going to be consumers because he illegally took that money. Yeah. If we do get it sorted out, lower courts have to figure that out. The corporations will get it. They're not going to pass on those savings. And so, I was shopping at Target and Walmart, and you could see how the difference we paid because they started ripping the price tags off of things like clothes and toys because they couldn't keep up with it. And so the consumers lost here. And I think this is a great decision, but let's not lose sight of the fact that even if we have a good decision, it was still wrong and it still took the courts a long time to catch up. Yeah. People got screwed, and Trump is pulling the same trick when it comes to immigration, lying that we're under some kind of invasion that justifies all these other emergencies. And so I want people to keep an eye on the ball with emergencies.
It's all
Seeing him
illegal.
lash out at Supreme Court
Go ahead.
justices also infuriates me because regardless of how the court leans, Supreme Court justices are literally, again, you can throw down arguments all you want on some of them, but by the time they're vetted to the highest court in the land, these are some of the most serious people that they really are. And you can't just not like them when you don't like their decisions. To go after them personally, what he's not used to is the executive branch does whatever he wants, anyone below him. The legislative branch, they run on lobbying and being primaried and, oh my God, we need you. That is not what Supreme Court justices are here for, and he does not understand
And they're
that.
lifetime appointments, and so they should.
Well, he
be
also,
beholden
wait,
to
hold
it.
on.
That should change.
Hold on. No, they shouldn't. And we've seen conservative justices on the court before. Felix Frankfurter, who I always go back to. What tends to happen in my opinion, is what I've seen is conservative justices and liberal justices get on the court and they start acting like justices who are looking out for the people in the country, not their parties, but the people in the country. They don't always do what I want them to do, but I've never believed that they were not operating in our best interest, even when I didn't agree. But these days, it's been tough to see, and I think the Supreme Court justices have lost a little pride in being a Supreme Court justice because it doesn't have the oomph that it had. It doesn't have the honor and the greatness attached to it. It has, quite frankly, seems like a quid pro quo, and I don't think they like that. And maybe, in part, they saw this for what it was, what it was originally, and now they feel they have a little more power because they have people also sitting next to them going, yeah, this isn't right. So let's hope that we continue down this way.